First mistake, forgot to unmute myself. Let's see what it looks like. I realize I will have no way of knowing how many people are watching, I think. I'm going to check to see if there's a way for me to know. Oh yeah, it says there, okay, I guess I just have to keep it open here on the screen. Because, so if you don't know, by the way, thanks for joining, but if you don't know, LinkedIn doesn't have a streaming service. You have to just stream through a third party. So I'm using a third party streaming service right now. And here the chat. Okay. And so now it's just now showing me the chat that you're coming through. It also tells me that there's about a 15-second delay between us right now. So that'll be interesting. So now I see the chats. And I have to use my phone to respond to you all, but I'll also try to respond in my voice. But hello, everyone. Awesome. So I'm glad the chat's working. I'm going to probably not use the music too often. I will turn it off. But look, I can do really fun things. Like I can feature like your comments on the screen, which is an exciting thing. Hello there. Hi. Not Streamlabs. This is actually StreamYard. Fairly similar. And I'm also doing this in real time back to Twitter as well. So we'll see. I guess every once in a while I have to go check my Twitter account and see if there's anybody watching there. Is there a real time chat there anyways? Supposedly there is. Oh, great. Cool. Awesome. So we'll just give this like a little bit longer, but just want to thank everybody for joining. And like I said, if you're joining from Twitter and not LinkedIn right now, maybe come jump over on LinkedIn and find me and join the stream here, because it's going to be a little bit easier for me to keep track of just one chat. I am recording this. And I will be posting not only the long form version of this, I will also be posting the short form. Or I'll be making cut downs of individual tips. Cool. All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. It says there's like 18 people, which is really exciting. That's really fun. So let me go ahead and cut the music and go ahead and do a quick little intro for everybody. So hi, if you don't already know me, which I think I looked at the list of people who are attending, about 50% of you I know really, really well. So thank you for all for showing up and being here and supporting me on my first ever LinkedIn live stream. I think this is probably one of my first ever live streams that I've ever done that isn't me like playing a video game, which is really exciting. But today we're going to be going through AI prompt writing as just like a quick tutorial. And we're going to make this like super interactive and fun. So I want to make it so that while I'm showing you things, if you have questions, feel free to just drop in the chat what you want me to show. I can put your comment up on the screen so that way there's some context about what I'm doing for other people who might jump in midstream. But we're going to have a lot of fun playing around with Midjourney and Chat GPT. We're also going to go off platform and check out like Canva, for example. We're going to show you how you can use the tools for AI inside of Canva, which is really fun. So this will be really cool. So I'm going to first start by just giving a little bit of a primer about AI prompt writing from the PDF that I shared. So let me go ahead and present my screen. All righty. There we are. And so, yeah, so this is the PDF I shared at the beginning of the week. It was just a really quick, informal kind of learning about how to write for Chat GPT and Midjourney. And people tended to like it, which is really nice. Got a lot of really good responses. But overall, the reason why we want to be able to know how to write for AI is that we want to be able to get really good responses from these tools that we're using. So that's kind of why I created it. I wanted to make it so that everyone is a little bit quicker on their feet when they're using AI tools, and that it's a little bit more of a tool for them to use. And so I wanted to also let people know that they use AI more often than they think. Probably not to the level that Chat GPT is doing or any tool like that, but AI tools are kind of have already been a part of our lives for years. For example, when you use text prediction in iOS or Android or any system where it's telling you, hey, did you want this next word to go inside of the text message that you're sending? That is AI. It's got a text prediction. It's predicting that this word should come after the word that you just typed. When we look at Chat GPT, and in some cases Midjourney or image creation in general, it's also doing that. It's predicting what you want the next thing to be. In Chat GPT, it's doing conversation prediction. It's predicting an entire other person's perspective about what you want based on what you typed. And that's really important to understand when we talk about conversation prediction, is what a lot of these AI tools are doing, because it's what its job is to make it so you think that the person on the other side is actually a person and they're continuing the conversation where you left off. What it is not is an accuracy prediction. Does that make sense for everybody? Its main goal is not to make sure that the data that it's feeding you is the most accurate. A really great example of this is like math. A lot of the times you can give it a really complex math problem. It's going to give you an answer that looks correct to a person who doesn't actually know the response that it should give, because it's just trying to continue you on to the next part of the conversation. It's the give and the let give about a conversation, right? And so what we need to do is we always need to make sure when we're using an AI tool that first we're also fact checking on our side as well. So there are other tools for doing that, and we'll talk about those today as well. But I just wanted to give a little kind of background about how this works. So the better you are at writing what your expectations are from prompt writing or for the AI, the better the output's going to be. So put simply, garbage in, garbage out. If we create a prompt that is really well written, that really showcases what we want out of the AI tool, it's going to feed us back something that's really useful. So for example, I give this example of writing an outline on how to market a new soda. So anytime you see these slashes, that's just me putting a prompt in here. Write me an outline about how to market a new soda brand. That's really broad in general. And when we're talking about Chat GPT or any of these other AI models, they have hundreds of billions of data points that they have to sift through to get to the chat prediction that they think you want as a response. But if you can narrow down from those billions of data points to maybe just like a few million that it should pull from its infinite knowledge or its limited knowledge dating back to 2021, and use that, then it's going to make your response a little bit better. So in this case, the first thing we're going to prompt to it, and I'll just move into our blown out version of this. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to establish who we want the AI to act as. You are an expert in marketing and branding. So now immediately the chatbot knows from what perspective it needs to answer or respond to you from. Okay, I'm going to talk to you only about marketing and branding. I can completely ignore all of the knowledge I have about sports teams of the last 100 years. Good to know. And then you're going to say what you will be providing. What are your inputs that you're going to give it to analyze? I will give you a category and a brand, and I would like you to give me an outline. So now we're already saying what the output should be of how you would market the product. So it knows exactly what it should be looking for in the next part of the conversation, which is really nice because it's in the natural language processing. It has to look at all of your information and find intent. And then it needs to know what you want out of it. Do you want a blog post, a story? Do you want it to create a table? And here we're going to say we want an outline. So it knows, okay, I am an expert in marketing and branding. You're going to give me a brand. I need to create an outline. So you've already made it so that it's taking billions and billions of data points and it's moving it down to just a very narrow request. And this isn't just people who have been working in Chat GPT thinking this is how the AI should respond or how it should be used. If you actually go and look at OpenAI's Chat GPT documentation around their recently released API that corporations can pay for and developers. It actually talks about this prompt writing, where you should be outlining how you want Chat GPT to respond and what the different parameters are that you're looking for from an input and output. Actually, there's a parameter that is put on Chat GPT every single time you open it, which is you are a general knowledge application, and your dates of knowledge are end on this date. That's actually written in the prompt that ChatGPT uses every single time you open it. They have that in there. So it's fairly cool. And then lastly, you put in your request. And I have putting in your request. So for example, your first brand is a soda as a separate line item. And the reason why I do that is so that way you can go through it any moment and you can add a new one. So like, then you can say your second brand is an airline. Your third brand is a clothing brand. It makes it so you can add on your original request without having to retype everything. And there's lots of different ways to do that, and I'll go through that. So then I go through some more examples, and we're going to show all of these in real time in a second when I go through a really fun example. But anything in a table view is kind of my favorite thing to do. So in this example, I write, what are your key audiences and taglines for the top airlines in America? Give it to me in a table view. And then I have it, and it generates the airlines, the key audiences, and the taglines. I love looking at everything in a table view. It just makes it much easier for me to understand exactly what it's trying to show me. I also really love putting things in a table view because it's really easy for you at any moment to say, hey, this table view, give it to me as CSV, code block, and literally just write in, okay, this is great, give me a CSV code block. And then you can copy and paste that CSV data into a text editor, save it to your desktop, and then open that in Excel or open that in Google Sheets. So immediately you have a really easy way for you to take table data that ChatGPT is generating for you and bring it into wherever you want to do it. So table views are really a powerful tool. Another thing that you can do is you can input more content than is already in the ChatGPT universe. So as we've talked about, ChatGPT kind of ends its knowledge base at around the, near the end of 2021. But if we want to put in new information, so for example, if you wanted to put in the last 4 quarters of financial information from a publicly traded company, you can do that. You can actually copy the text and paste it into the chat prompt. So I can say, for example, I will feed you a very long article in multiple parts. I want a summary after I've fed you all the parts, but not before I tell you you have everything. Understood? And then it will respond that it understands. You'll copy and paste all of the financial reports, and then you'll hit send. And then you'll say, I'm done. And then it'll say, okay, here is a summary of the 4 financial reports that you fed me. That's really helpful when you want to bring in more information, or if you want to bring in information past the maxed allowed number of characters in the submission box in ChatGPT. Super helpful. I do this a lot. And I'm going to show you that in a second. You can also ask for multiple inputs to be combined and analyzed. So for this example, I had imported multiple investor reports from American Airlines and United Airlines, and I asked it to compare the 2 documents and give me comparative data points that I can use in a presentation. And in this example, it talked about the net incomes and net losses for the 2 airlines comparative to each other. So it's really nice. You can get kind of like a high-level talking point for a brand that you may be working on. This is, I think, the one that got a lot of attention. Hosted an imaginary panel to discuss, to help brainstorm, to host a discussion. And host an imaginary panel of the top 10 best businesses and marketing minds and have them discuss back and forth how these areas above would be used to better market an airline. This one's really fun. You specifically have to tell ChatGPT that you're looking for an imaginary panel discussion, or otherwise it just kind of gives you, yes, I would host a panel discussion. And the response is just, here are the things we would talk about. Versus if you say imaginary, it actually has them start talking to each other. Now, of note, in the image that I have inside of the PDF, it's putting David Ogilvy and Leo Burnett. You have to ask it for it to generate the list of 10 business minds first, and then it will pull from that list that you generated after the fact. So that's super important to note there, that you have to do that. Otherwise, it will call each panelist, panelist 1, panelist 2, panelist 3. It won't give them names. Why do we want them to have names? Because, again, it's using these billions of data points of information. If each panelist has a real name attached to them, they're not just a random smart person in the world of business. They'll actually have a point of view based on their actual point of view that is shared on the internet via their Wikipedia and every other piece of publication that Chat GPT has ever crawled. So it's really cool because you can get some really interesting answers. And you as not the moderator, because Chat GPT is the moderator, but you as the person sitting in the audience can ask questions of the panel as well, which is really fun. You can go up and say, hey, like, I want you to go deeper on that, or I want to throw you a curveball about that question. You can have a lot of fun with it. Then you can also say, like, based on the data I've shown you, or based on all of the documents, or based on the target audiences from this brand, where's there a gap? Where's there a missing data point? Where is there an opportunity that someone isn't covering? And I think that's really exciting, because a lot of times that's the hardest thing to look for, is you get all of this really interesting information and you're trying to pare it down to what's new, what's useful. And so that's where we come in with asking, is there a space not yet being explored? Is there a data point that you don't see that would help make the case? Is there an audience that isn't being tapped? You can ask those questions inside of your prompt, and based on all the prior information it's done, it can help you with that. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. You can also input spreadsheets as CSVs. This is super helpful. I do this a lot with like YouTube analysis, where I'll download the data from YouTube's analytics data studio platform, download the data as a CSV, bring the CSV into just a simple text editor. So that way there literally are just comma separated values. And then you can copy and paste that into Chat GPT. But you'll need to tell Chat GPT what it needs to be, right? So you will act as a spreadsheet program. I will feed you a CSV in multiple parts because of its length. Do not start to analyze till I tell you I'm done. Once ready, tell me any key attributes about the product that users are talking about. So in this example, what I had done is I had downloaded the top comments for the top TikTok videos about Stanley tumblers, which were really popular, still are, but were really popular this last holiday season as gifts. And I wanted it to find some really interesting things that people were talking about in the comment section to analyze. And so that's what it fed back to me. But it's really interesting because generally speaking, that's like a pretty manual task, going in through all of the information and the data. You normally have to use a social listening tool that allows you to bring outside data. Even then, it's just showing you literally quantitatively, this is how many people mentioned this thing. With here, we can get to a little bit more qualitatively about what the conversations are about, which is really exciting. So that's analyzing CSV data. You'll need to copy and paste it literally into the document. So before we switch over to Midjourney, I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to go ahead and let you know about what's going to be the next part of this. So that was kind of a quick overview about ChatGPT and writing AI prompts for natural language processing apps like a ChatGPT. I'm going to show you some other examples of things that do that. Before we do that, does anyone have any specific questions about prompt writing, or should we just go straight into the demo? And I've got my eye on the chat. And again, appreciate everybody joining here. It's really exciting to see how many people are here right now. This is awesome. I'm just checking Twitter right now. Again, if you're joining on Twitter, doesn't look like anyone is, but just jump into LinkedIn and it's going to be the best place. And I'll give some time because I know there's a 15-second delay between us. Awesome. So what we're going to do as the demo today, which is really exciting, is that we're actually going to go and create an entire campaign using AI tools. And this is actually a prompt that was given to me by somebody who I think is still in the chat, Shane here. He told me to do an entire campaign for the brand Aesop, which I used to pronounce as Aesop. But I did some research before today, and I found out it's pronounced Aesop. But Aesop soap and beauty products, that's who we're going to do. I see we've got a question here. I'm going to pull it up because I can. Have you done comparisons between what you tell it to be before answering? I haven't. That's really interesting. Well, no, that's not true. I have done an example where it's like, oh, I need you to be an expert, a social strategist working at an ad agency, versus just saying like, give me the top tips of X. And I just noticed that it's just more detailed. When it's just really not specific about how you want Chat GPT to act or any AI tool, you get some more generalized knowledge, things that maybe aren't using the verbiage that you're used to using in whatever industry or vertical you work in. Whereas when you ask it to be an expert in that specific category, it's a little bit more pointed. And it goes into a little bit more detail, like I said. Generally speaking, though, like, you can go and not tell it exactly who it should act as and just ask it general questions, and you'll get 90% of the way there. The extra 10%, though, is really helpful when you give it like who you want it to act as. Hopefully that helped. Let's see what this one. If I input data or text, will it stay in the system for reuse the following day? Yes. So I'll show you that when we go into Chat GPT right now, is that all of your chats actually show up saved on the left-hand side. So let me go ahead and pull up Chat GPT. I'll just make this a little bigger for everybody. So yes, all of your chats from the past stay saved here, and all of the data that you've imported from the past stays there as well. So super helpful. It's nice because you can just you can spend, the first part of your day inputting all of your data points and the second part of your day analyzing it. Very fun. So like I said, we're going to start with Aesop soap. And so what we need to do to get started there is we need to learn a little bit about Aesop soap. So we're going to say, I want you to be a strategist at an ad agency. I will provide you a brand, and I would like you to give me a brief summary about the brand and its current part. Well, let's not say current, because it's going to throw up and say that it doesn't have current data, and its audience. And so we want to know about the brand and its audience, and maybe its most important products. So right off the bat, we're just going to get a response. Oh yeah, I have to provide it. It says, sure, I can help you out. So let's provide it. So we know this luxury skincare brand, Australia, 1987. I already went ahead and pre-vetted that data to make sure that it actually knew this brand before I got started, which is really exciting to just see like, okay, that's correct. It also talks a little bit about some of its best well-known products, the reasons that people are interested in the product, its commitment to natural ingredients, sustainable practices, and minimalist design. I think we can all say that we agree with all these things. Like I said before, if you're not really good at reading paragraphs and you just want everything in a table, you can just say, give me this in a table view. Boom. So it makes it really easy for now us to just immediately analyze what we're looking at here for Aesop soap. So we know the industry, we know the target audience, we know the product focus, we know the key products, the brand values, things like that. This makes it easier for us to start figuring out what kind of campaign we can create for them. So now that we've got a little bit about the company background and the latest and some information, let's go and import some of the latest information. So in a quick tab, Now I might just say, I want a quick story about Aesop soap. Aesop soap. Maybe I'll go to someplace like Google News. And I'll go find some of the latest writings or reports about the brand. And so now I've got a couple, and you'll see them in a second. I'm going to say to Chat GPT, I will import some new information about Aesop. Don't do anything with it just yet. I will say done when you have all the info. All right. So then we'll say, here's new info. And we'll go and, here's a magazine article about Aesop expands its home category with new scents and incense holder. So we'll just like go quickly copy that. That's kind of more like a PR thing, but copy it. And it's going to go ahead and no matter what, it's just going to keep completing, even though I told it not to. And I can always say stop generating. So we can just keep moving on. Then we can go in here. Here's an article. Journey from a hair salon side hustle to a $2.9 billion valuation. This could be useful because this has more information about the current state of the business. There's going to be a lot of crap it pulls in because I am selecting some ads here, but that's okay. Here's more info. And again, write it out. So now I've updated some more recent information. So I'm going to say here, based on this new info, can you summarize the current state of the business at Aesop? Right? Then it's just going to give me a quick upload of some of the latest things. Its current valuation, the number of stores that they have, the current number of countries they're in, the new products that they have. And this is only 2 articles. If you were doing this at home, you'd probably want to import like 20 or 30 new articles about the brand to update the information from what Chat GPT has from 2021 to bringing it to current era information. But for our purposes, 2 articles will be more than enough. So now that we have that information, we might want to look at competitors. So we can say that. So we can say, as a business strategist, provide me a similar table to what it did before of the brand's top 2 competitors. And, we could probably do more than 2. Kiehl's and Body Shop, maybe not completely right, although they're pretty luxury. You might need to do more than 2 in your research, but again, for us, 2 is enough. So here we're going to summarize our top 2 competitors really quickly and get some more information about who we're looking at. And we can look at key products that they all have, the brand values, the key differentiators, things like that. What's really cool here is now we've got these 3 brands. The one that is our hero brand, our client, Aesop, Kiehl's, and the Body Shop. You can already start to see there's a couple of things like sustainability that overlap. So let's say we wanted to go ahead and analyze the overlap. Can you tell me in bullet points the overlap between Aesop and these brands' strategies? And I know I don't spell things right, but ChatGPT doesn't care. And then it's just going to quickly tell us they all prioritize natural ingredients and sustainability. They all have a strong commitment to ethical and sustainable practices. They all focus on high quality products. These are kind of like all the things that you need to be an expensive brand, right? You have to do all of these things. So what's more interesting, and we talked about this in the past one, is what makes them different, right? So in what ways are these 3 brands different? give it to me in bullet points. But it's going to tell us that they're different. So looks like for first one for Aesop, it's about minimalist design and streamlined aesthetic. All three brands prioritize natural beauty, but Body Shop has a stronger focus on ethical sourcing. This is really cool. Can you give me this info in a table? Like I said, I always just love dropping all of this into a table. Really awesome. So you can copy and paste these tables into your slides in PowerPoint or Google Sheet or Google Slides. If you need the data in this spreadsheet in a different way, I talked a little bit about this. Give me this table as a CSV block of code. I can copy and paste. Boom. So then I can just take this, I can put this in text editor, copy and paste it into the text editor, save that file as a CSV file, and then open it into a spreadsheet program like Excel. So super awesome. Whenever you see a table and you want to bring that data out, you can always ask for it to create a CSV. And then you just copy the code there, which is really exciting. Okay, so now we know a little bit about our competitors, Kiehl's, The Body Shop, and then we have our brand. We want to bring in a little bit more information about maybe the brands, the target audiences. Maybe we want to bring in some case studies that are really specific, right? So we can go to a place like Work and start looking at research that they may have. So here's an article about marketing luxury brands in a cost of living crunch. So right now, it might be a little bit harder for a brand like Aesop to market their product. And so we might want to bring the learnings about the current downshift in the economy into Chat GPT. So I might say, I'm about to provide more information about the category all of these brands are in, and more info about the consumer. We are looking, well, let's not say that, about the consumer. I'm going to let it decide. So here's that article. It's going to provide me a summary because it always loves doing that. We're going to also provide this article about how brands can effectively engage in young consumers. We can almost assume that the next step in this process, the logical step in this process, is that we're going to figure out who our target audience is that we can start targeting. I kind of jumped ahead a little bit and didn't show you how to do that. But as you can imagine, you would just ask it, what are some target audiences that we can start targeting? And it would most likely, as every marketer does, feed you out that you should be targeting Gen Z. So we're going to go ahead and give it some Gen Z and millennial information. And it's going to provide us a quick little summary. We're going to go back to Work, and maybe we want to look up, one of our competitors specifically really quick. So let's do Kiehl's real quick. So we'll go in here and we'll just type in Kiehl's, and let's see if we can bring up a specific strategy about Kiehl's. Like I said, I'm just doing this really quickly for the sake of the live stream to get you all in a process. Obviously, what you would want to do is go a lot deeper and to make sure that the data that you're bringing in is useful. So here I'm going to just copy and paste the information about Kiehl's. I'm going to feed you, going to give you more info about our competitors. There's Kiehl's. We'll go back here and do The Body Shop. Okay, I found an article over here that's specifically about embedding a purpose across an organization. That's pretty useful information. Here's more info about body shop. Give it that. And now once it has all of this information, we can say, okay, we know about ourselves. We know about our competitors. We know about the current financial landscape where there's a crunch on people buying luxury goods. And we also told them the latest information we have about marketing to Gen Z and millennials, right? So we can say, based on all of the above info I've provided, give me a few ideas for a marketing strategy that would grow the audience of Aesop. So it's going to use all of that information. If we want to, we can query Chat GPT to say, what information exactly did you use to get to these bullet points? And it's just going to really quickly go through and give us a couple of options. And we can specify how many options we want. Another really cool thing, and I'll just do it for you guys, is at any point when you get a response, you can ask for more responses. You can just say, give me more. I want more of these. And it's really cool because it's the partner that never gets tired. It'll constantly generate more ideas, gives you more things. So a couple of these we're starting to see as like repeating patterns, right? So leveraging influencer marketing, developing educational content, host virtual events, create limited edition products, expand product lines. Let's say, for example, we're interested in the expanding product line. I would love to know more about what a possible target audience for Aesop would want in a new product. Please give me the target you selected and the new products in a table view. Right? So here are just like some options. Pollution protection. That's really interesting. Let's roll with it. We can keep going and have it come up with new target audiences and things like that. But pollution protection cream with SPF, a lightweight daily moisturizer that protects your skin from environmental stressors such as pollution and UV rays. And then it gives a couple of other options like an urban detox mask, a travel size skin refresher kit, kind of like all of these products. We might make a couple of these into products today. Let's start with I don't know. Do you guys want to choose one of these products? Which one do you want to see me make a marketing campaign out of for our new urban professionals target audience? And we'll use the above information to market it. I'll pay attention to chat for a second, and you can all tell me what you'd want me to create. We do look like we have one person watching on Twitter. So if you're watching on Twitter, just know that I'm not checking it often. So please join the LinkedIn chat. So do we want to do the pollution protection cream with SPF, the anti-fatigue eye gel, which is a cooling and hydrating gel that reduces puffiness, or the urban detox mask, or the travel size skin refresher? Number one, I'm going with the first. Oh, we got the anti-fatigue eye gel. We'll just do number one first, the pollution protection, because I know we'll get some fun responses. Using new product number one, give me more details on how Aesop would market this product. So here it didn't know what product number one is, right? Product designed for damaged hair. We got to give it more details. So we'll say based on the table above about and the target audience of urban professionals. give me some more details. Let's go even deeper about this potential audience. Right? Individuals who live in the city exposed to high levels of pollution, yada, yada, yada. Okay, cool. So we've gotten really deep into the research side. I think now we need to pull back a little bit. I think we've got a little bit about who they are, what product it is, what they're looking for in a skincare product that addresses this idea of high levels of pollution and UV by living in the city, and how Aesop can make a product that helps them. Let's start getting into like the actual coming up with the marketing strategy. So let's talk about just generating some quick headlines. So this is how you all might use this in your day to day. You might need to come up with some thought starters in a new business presentation or to a brief if you're a strategist to your creatives. So one of the things I always do as a tip is I always say, give me some headlines about this new product and Aesop. Make 10 of them for social. I don't know. Let's see what it does. I always use this as like a quick jump starter to get me thinking about what I want to do here. So we've got like shield your skin from pollution and UV rays with Aesop's latest must-have, the ultimate protection for city dwellers, Aesop's pollution protection cream. Elevate your skincare routine with Aesop's revolutionary pollution protection. Okay, these are like interesting. These are kind of like the surface level, right? So maybe we want to bring in a little bit more of the brand tone. Like, I don't know this to be true, but maybe we'll ask, what is the brand tone for Aesop? Sophisticated, understated, and intellectual. They articulate and informative and thoughtful. Well, that's great. None of those were that thing, right? So based on that tone for the brand, rewrite those 10 lines in that tone. Okay. Made it a little better. Okay. Maybe we can do something really fun. So now that's kind of just given some like interesting lines. Maybe we want to do like something really interesting, like, you know, take these lines and do something a little weird. So give me 5 more lines and use alliteration. Okay. Now we're getting to something that's a little bit more interesting here. Protect, purify, and polish with Aesop's pollution protection cream. Bask in the bliss of Aesop's botanical-based beauty boosters. You know, these aren't great, right? But we're getting somewhere that looks a little bit more creative and interesting. So I'm going to ask it to provide these lines as a CSV. Let's see if it knows how to do it. As a CSV block of code. No. And look, this is a error correction, right? Whenever you're writing something that's code, no, please provide the above 5. Please provide the original alliteration lines, the 5 earlier, as a block of CSV code I can copy and paste. You may be asking yourself, why am I asking for this information as a CSV? Well, because I'm going to show you something really cool that you can do. So we've got these, now it's giving me 10 lines for Aesop, right? I'm going to show you something that's really cool that's not inside of Chat GPT or what we're going to take a look at in just a second, Aesop. I'm going to take you really quickly over to a tool you may be using every single day if you create social content, which is you might be using Canva. Canva is a really awesome tool for creating quick social content. So today I'm going to show you something that you may not know that you can do. Maybe you do. But if you have a paid account inside of Canva, you can bulk upload information and have it auto-generate content for you. Yep. So let's say, for example, we have this really generic piece of social content here. It's not great, but maybe we're just trying to create some like ephemeral ad copy and imagery for, again, like a brainstorm. And we want to quickly take all of those really amazing lines that we created earlier and turn them into images that we can put in a slide deck. So I've got my 10 lines that I copied and pasted as a CSV from Chat GPT. I'm going to bring them into Canva, and there's a little option here that you can add inside of apps called bulk create. And in here, you can upload a CSV or you can enter the data manually. So I'm just going to really quickly clear the table. I'm going to paste my data, not alliteration. Let me go grab the data real quick. Copy it. Oh, hold on. Let me get rid of the give me the lines without quotations. Oh, CSV block of code for copy and pasting quotes. What we're going to do is we're going to bring this over. I'm just going to bring it over with the quotes, but no, you can ask it for the data without the quotes. All right, so I should be able to copy and paste. So there's the table, and we're just going to call this post copy as the name inside of the CSV. So here we are. We've got each of the lines that we brought in from ChatGPT, 15 of them, and then we called it post copy. And now we're going to select the text over here, and we're going to click these little 3 dots, and we're going to say connect to data called post copy. And we're going to hit continue. It's going to select all 15 lines that we brought in from ChatGPT, and we're going to generate 15 posts instantaneously with that post copy that was created in ChatGPT. I'm not saying these look great, but what I'm saying is if you needed to take bulk amounts of post copy or anything that was generated in ChatGPT and then bring it into something that you could then use as a visual stimuli for a creative brief, for a client presentation, for a brainstorm, you could do it. Canva's got lots of really cool tools for this. So let's say, for example, we were in here and, we were like, oh, like this is really cool. Urban Professionals Rejoice Pollution Protection Cream with SPF. But this is a picture of like palm trees, right? We don't need that. So let's go ahead and delete that. And something that's also in here from an AI perspective is the new text to image tool. So inside of Canva, we can type in like a really quick prompt. Like we want a modern downtown setting. Cafes. E-bikes. What else would be really fun to have in there? Like green. No, let's just say plants along the street. We're just going to have it do a quick text to image. This is a great transition for us to start moving over into Midjourney, which will be one of the last things we talk about. I see we've got 24 people. I want to do, while it's generating this, I'm going to tell you about something that's really cool. So first off, here's the really cool generic image that it created of a downtown. And now we've got a unique piece of imagery that we generated using AI. We're about to go talk about image generation with Midjourney. I want to tell you all about something really exciting that I'm going to be trying out with you all. So in a second, we're going to jump into Discord, which is the tool that we use to generate images for AI. I want to use everyone who's in this room. I want to give everyone who's in this room a really unique opportunity. I'm not selling anything, don't worry. I want you all to join a really fun exclusive club of you all, of the people currently in the room right now, and join a Discord channel with me where we're going to share information in real time as we learn about it from here till the future around AI, image generation, marketing, and AI. So this is my way of saying I'm launching a Discord server, and I would like you all to join it with me. And so what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to drop in to the chat, which I have to go and log into LinkedIn real quick and do it. But I'm going to drop in to the chat here a link to the Discord that you can join. And in there, you're going to, first off, there's already the Midjourney bot, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But there's going to be me putting in real-time links as I find them that I think you will all find useful. There's going to be really amazing tools that I get access to that I want to share with the rest of the group. There's going to be eventually a newsletter that I'm going to create that keeps everyone updated. But this Discord that I'm sending out an invite that anyone can join is an opportunity to start this group up with me, to start an opportunity to build out a community of people who are really interested in AI right now, what I think is the starting point of AI for marketers, and get in on the conversation. So I'll post that link a couple of times here, but I just wanted you all to have it. I think it's a really cool opportunity. I think Discord is a really fun place to build that community. So hopefully you all will join me in there. So it'll just be a place we can all learn together. So I showed you really quickly, thanks for going on that journey with me. I showed you all really quickly how to generate a bunch of copy about our Aesop campaign and bring it into Canva and immediately create 15 posts. And then we can also generate some really fun custom backgrounds, right, that we use in our creative. Well, now we're going to get you a little bit better at it, generating imagery. We're going to move over to Midjourney, which is by far my favorite tool. Oop. I just unpaused myself. So let's go ahead and move over to there now. So let's stop sharing my screen for a second. I'm going to take a water break. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. How's everybody in the chat doing? I'm glad people like it and seeing this is awesome, amazing, brilliant. I'm glad everyone is really enjoying it. All right, let's go ahead and move us over into Midjourney. Actually, let's stay in Midjourney for just one more second. So before we generate some imagery and we want to use it, we may want to not start from scratch, right? We may need to have some tips on the type of imagery that we want to create for our Aesop campaign. And we can actually have Chat GPT do that for us. And the only thing is that Chat GPT doesn't know about Midjourney necessarily. Like I've seen some examples of people saying like, oh yeah, it knows Midjourney. I haven't found that it does. It doesn't know like all of the really great details about how to generate specific imagery using the different parameters. So there's actually, you can go online, you can type in how to train Chat GPT with Midjourney, and it'll give you something that you can like copy and paste essentially. That'll help you do that. I don't have that because I accidentally deleted it, but know that a tool or a training exists for Chat GPT that'll make it smarter. Basically teaches it all the parameters that Midjourney has. But so for today, we'll just keep it generic. So based on what you know about the product and the brand, generate a prompt for me to feed into the image generation tool, Midjourney, that will help, that will be the product design for this Aesop pollution protection cream. Then you can say things like be very descriptive and do not use full sentences. Instead, use descriptive language of the product design with commas separating the different attributes. All right, let's see what it gives us. It says a minimalist, modern, sleek design, matte finish featuring shades of earthy. Sure. I'm not even going to read it. Let's just go over to Midjourney and try it. All right, so we're going to go screen share over to a window. Here we are. We are now inside of a Discord. So if you've never used Midjourney, you interface with Midjourney, the generative AI tool, via Discord. If you go to Midjourney and you sign up for the beta, which I think currently their website is down for maintenance, but if you sign up for the beta of using this tool, you'll get like 150 free generations or whatever that number actually equals out to with their demo. But you use it through their tool, their specific channel. But here's the secret. There's a Midjourney bot and you can add it to any server. So you can make your own private Discord server, like the one I've been trying to invite you all today. And you can make it so that you can have your own little private workspace. You don't have to see everybody else's work while you're trying to generate your images. Now, sometimes it's actually really useful for you to see other people's work because you can learn from what other people do. And you can learn how to write better prompts for Midjourney. So I encourage you to still be a part of those channels and use the midjourney.com website to learn how to become a better prompt writer. But let's go ahead and get started here with our own private channel. So I'm going to type in /imagine here, Imogen. And I'm just going to try without any prior work, just copying and pasting what Chat GPT gave me. It's a good place to start. Let's just see what it gives us. So what it's doing is it's taking that copy that I just copied and pasted. It's now running it through the AI algorithm over at Midjourney, and it's taking its best estimate on what I'm trying to create. It's probably going to be way off, but it's going to give us a place to start. So again, we wrote a minimalist, modern, and sleek design with matte finish featuring shades of gray, earthy tones, brown that evoke a sense of nature, metallic silver, futuristic, complex, compact, user-friendly, blah, blah, blah. Great. You know, not that bad. Not that bad. That's kind of unique. I like that. So what's really cool about Midjourney is once you get a design that you think is close to something that you would like, you can actually continue to iterate on that design. So let's say, for example, I don't know, let's go with this bottom left one. It seems like the closest something I might see it at Aesop. Let's go with this bottom left one. So these numbers, the U and the V's, the U's stand for up-resing, if we wanted a higher resolution of one of these images, and the V stands for variations. There's also all sorts of really cool settings that you can set in here. If you do /settings, you can change all sorts of settings, like what version of Midjourney it's using, what's the quality. Style is how much influence you want to let Midjourney give. So remix mode allows you, and that's currently turned on, so I'll show you. It allows you to make changes to your prompt. So let's go ahead and say that we want variations of the 1, 2, 3, third image. So we went ahead and selected it. And because we are in remix mode, it's going to go ahead and prompt me to make any adjustments. So this dash, this is where you're getting the opportunity to add in some mix-ins. Like, for example, AR is aspect ratio. So maybe we want this aspect ratio to be instead of a one-to-one, maybe we want it to be something we could put like in a presentation deck or a website. So maybe we want it as a 16:9. There's the aspect ratio change there. There's other things you can do that you saw in the settings, like change the style. We can do -S style, and we can turn the style down to 50. All sorts of really cool mix-ins. We'll talk about those in a second, a little bit more detailed. I know we're coming up at the top of the hour. Thank you so much for joining me. If you can't stick around, if you can stick around, we're going to keep going until we have like a fun campaign here for Aesop. So we've got a minimalist, modern, and sleek design matte finish. Okay, let's keep it as is right now and see what it gives. And then we're going to go through and we're going to do something called prompt weighting. So if you've seen my PDF, you already know what the next step of this is, where we actually start going through and we start weighting different parts of our prompt using values that we create to make them either higher or lower. So for example, here are different variations of the above. And it looks like when we asked it for a 16:9 aspect ratio, it not only took the above product, but it also widened the window and the product itself, which is unique. Thank you for that. Okay, so here's its next render. I don't like it as much. It actually kind of messed it up quite a bit. So there's a couple of things that we need to do to make this render a little bit better. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go back to our original design. And I'm going to start off by adding a couple of things that I always add in as a mix-in. And this is in my PDF. So first off, I want 4K, ultra realistic, photorealistic, or just photorealism. That's the first part, right? We want to make sure that whatever we're generating is like super realistic. And then we want like to bring in some parts of the fact that we're creating a product, and it should have really beautiful products to design. So we shouldn't say things like beautiful product design. Should say art. No, let's not put artful. Let's just start there. And then we can keep this part: a minimalist, modern, sleek design with matte finish featuring shades of earthy tones, metallic. Packaging should be compact and practical. Here we go with the product and name should be prominently displayed using bold sans serif fonts. So here's what's interesting about Midjourney. Midjourney is horrible at writing out text. So you actually want to do the opposite here. You want to delete anything related to text. And so how do we do that? So we can get rid of all this information here. We should say that we want to actually have a negative impact on text. And so we want to use that weighting or prompting. And so we can do either this, where we say no, fonts, text, or logos, or we could do things like this, where we do the numbers and then we say like a -5 value or a -6 value. So we're negatively weighting it. I'm going to use the no function right now just because it's a little bit easier for what we're trying to do. So now it's going to take all that information. It's going to regenerate that original image for us. And hopefully we'll get something a little bit closer to what we want. So you guys have been great inside the chat. Thank you so much for the positive reinforcement. Feel free to ask me any questions along the way if you have any, because I'm just kind of going off on this one. All right. Again, it's introducing a lot of artifacts that we don't necessarily want in our product design here, but that was something that I'll let you all figure out how you want to do it, including like removing the text and making sure it's there. So let's say we get to a point where we're like, all right, well, this is pretty close. This is good. Let's go ahead and figure out how we want to place it, right? But right now, it's just kind of in a plain background. Maybe we want to put it in that urban landscape that we talked about before. These are urban professionals using this product, right? But how do I make it so that every single time I come back to Midjourney, similar to like when I work in Chat GPT, it brings all the prior information and work that I did to get to this point. In Chat GPT, you've got your individual saved chats, right? Well, that's where having a seed, bye Mark, see you later, is really important. Having that number that's unique to your render is so important. So how do we get that seed number, that unique number to your render, so we can constantly create content that looks just like that? So really quickly, we know we liked this one up here, right? We loved this design, super simple and minimalist. Let's go ahead and first off, just up res just that one. And then we're going to ask for the seed of that image. So that way we can continually iterate on it throughout the rest of the projects that we do, right? So it'll take it a second for it to render that out. And then we're going to show you how to create that number. So while it's doing that, I'm just going to really quickly drop in that link that we talked about before to the Discord chat. While I'm in here, invite people. So if you missed it earlier, one of the things I'm really trying to do is build a community around AI generative work and AI in marketing. And so I'm trying to create a Discord channel where people can chat more about this, learn from each other, really build out a community of people who are learning from each other and getting better at using AI in marketing and advertising. So I just sent out that Discord link. If you want to join, it's going to be a really fun group of people, and we're looking to like build out a community. And so we've got a question. Is asking Chat GPT to generate a prompt for Midjourney reliant on me teaching Chat GPT on how to write prompts for Midjourney? I think you may have, yes. So you will get better responses from Chat GPT if you teach it how to write for Midjourney. So there's actually, and I can link this on the LinkedIn post. If you're following me on LinkedIn, I will link this also in the Discord if you were thinking about joining the Discord. But there's a couple of resources where people have written out a prompt for Chat GPT that teaches it all of these different parameters that you can put inside of Midjourney so you can get better responses out. Yes, if you train it, you'll get better outputs and be able to use it as a tool. There's also lots of really cool tools that exist out there that help you get better Midjourney renders by already knowing all those parameters for you. And they're like little generators in themselves. So here we have like our really awesome product, right? We love this one. And this is the one we want to iterate on. So first off, you'll notice the background is plain enough. I could clip this artwork out in like a Canva or Photoshop and immediately start using this in like a fake ad, right? For brainstorming with my creatives about launching this new product that we created in Chat GPT a minute ago. But let's say if I want to make it so that I can constantly repeat this design. So in order to get that number that will allow us to constantly repeat this design, we'll just respond back with an emoji of a envelope. And we'll immediately get a message that gives us that seed value, right? So this number that it responded back, the seed number, is what we'll want to add anytime we want to use it in a prompt. So let's say, for example, we want to create a magazine layout of a modern downtown area, green plants along the street, cafes, e-bikes. And we can say seed, and then we can give it the number. Right? So now it's going to generate this new prompt, but it's going to use the seed of this image to generate it. It's going to use this unique value, this unique product that we created to generate the thing. Now we're probably going to get some pretty weird responses because this image is like really, really specific. And we asked for a magazine layout. So it's probably literally going to put it in a magazine, which, whatever, it's fun. But this is like, we're just playing all around. We're learning how the AI responds to what we're doing, right? These are pretty cool. this is kind of like an Aesop ad. Like this gets us closer to what we're looking for. It's maybe a little bit too busy, but it's getting us closer to what we would want. It literally put the greenery along the actual print ad, which is fine. We can do other really cool things. Like maybe we want to see like using this artwork that we have, let's create a really fun website ad. Like let's create UX, UI, website. Let's even put the brand in there because maybe Midjourney knows some things about the brand. Modern, sleek, professional landing page, new product announcement, right? And then maybe we want to make it so that the brand Aesop, I'm just going to put it at the beginning of our query just to make this easier to track, is like the most important part of this conversation, right? Like let's rank it a 6. So we're going to use those weighting elements dash the dot 6, and we want to make it so that the UX UI website modern sleek has a weight of 5. And then all the others we don't care so much about. And then we want to make sure that it has seed that we have from the past. So I'll just go back, copy it really quick, and bring it in here. All right, so really quickly, it's going to know that the highest weighted thing is that the brand is Aesop, so it needs to make sure that's featured. We're creating a UX UI website, modern, sleek, that's a weight of 5. It's professional landing page, new product. So right now I can tell that the render might be a little dark for the website we're looking for. It's not really on brand, but let's check it out. Actually, it's pretty cool. It's not quite. So here's the thing. It didn't quite bring in the product itself. And also like Aesop kind of already has a very well-known digital look, but this is cool. This is unique, right? This is something fun for us to play around with. These might be fun pieces of imagery to throw into the brainstorm with the clients or with your creative team. All right. So I've shown you a little bit about generating out our products. I showed you how you use Chat GPT to get to the product that we have here today, using research and outside information to educate it. Maybe now what we want to do is we want to do what it talked about earlier, like influencers and collaborations, right? So let's do a quick influencer collaboration, or at least a business collaboration. So I'm going to pop us over really quickly to Chat GPT. And I'm going to ask it to tell us a little bit about a potential collaboration partner. For this new product, our skin protection with UV, can you give us a table of potential partners who we could collab with on the new product launch? Here's something really special when you do these kind of brand collabs. Make sure none of these partners are in the same industry or sell a similar product as Aesop. Right? It's going to give it to me in a table. Yeah, of course, Nike, Airbnb, Tesla, Bose, Peloton. There they are. Just going really quickly here. We're talking about protection of people being outdoors in an urban space. Nike probably makes the most amount of sense here, but a partnership between Aesop and Nike is maybe a little on the nose. Maybe we need to do something a little bit more unique. So I'm going to do Airbnb just because it's my live stream. I'll do what I want. I'm going to go ahead and say, yep, let's do Airbnb. We're going to go back over to our Discord channel where we're working on our design. And I'm going to say brand collab between Aesop and Airbnb. Just type that in for now. Let's just make it really generic. A brand collab between our brand and Airbnb, and let's just see what it generates. And then we can get a little bit more specific. So let's say, for example, you're working in experiential design. You could have it generate what a pop-up would look like at South by Southwest, or you could have it generate like what a dinner would look like. What would a dinner look like between Airbnb and Aesop? You can have it generate what a Instagram post looks like. You can be as specific as you want or not. So it keeps thinking when it talks about the Aesop brand that we really want to see the product itself. So that would be where you want to use like that negative prompting and say like, actually don't show me any product. But we know that we can just be a little bit more specific. So let's give it an example of a brand collab on a pop-up restaurant in New York City between Aesop and Airbnb. Just see what happens there. So now we're doing a pop-up restaurant in New York City between these two brands to launch this new product. Maybe you can like rent out a really awesome room, and we'll do that next. We'll do like a really awesome interior of a room that is the collaboration between Aesop and Airbnb. And maybe you can rent out a really fun space that has like open windows, but it's okay that the sun's coming in because you have SPF on. Thank you for the 15 sticking on right now. I know that we went past the 1 hour. I'm just so excited. Again, like it's doing a little bit different branding here, but this is like unique, right? Like we could play with this. We can make this a little bit more Airbnb. Like if we wanted to introduce more of the Airbnb colors and ask for it to do more of like the pink and white, or we could continue to keep it more Aesop branded. We could do whatever we want, but this is like really fun. Like we're getting to these brand collaboration opportunities. Let's do a quick interior. Let's do what we talked about. Like we want a interior of a modern, gonna be crazy, rock climbing gym, 4K, ultra real, photo real. Maybe I want it to be kind of like large interior windows, remodeled warehouse, NYC, natural lighting, wide angle. If you look at my PDF, there's all these really cool ways that you can add in mix-ins about the type of lens that it's using, the type of film that you capture the image on that really get to what you want here. So, wide angle, 50 millimeter Kodak film, collab between Aesop and Airbnb. Let's just see what that gets us. Can we do another workshop primarily focused on Midjourney image prompts? Absolutely. I would say like also the other thing about image generation inside of Midjourney, it's been like the thing that I've been the most excited about. Just get in there. Just start playing around. You can't do anything wrong. It's so much fun. I will say, like, if you're doing the free account, like, obviously you can be a bit concerned that you're going to go over on your free account credits, but I think it's like $10 or something for the paid account. I think it's worth it. Like if you're using this daily to help generate like content that you're going to use to help brainstorm with clients or to help in a anything like that, like I think it's worth it. I'm going to throw the Discord actually as like a banner here in a second. I can't type inside of StreamYard, which is really not great. So here's just like a quick image. I don't know if you would consider this a collaboration between Airbnb and Aesop. There's other parameters we could add in there, but that's really unique and cool. So in this short time, an hour and 20 minutes, I've showed you a little bit more about how to use Chat GPT and how to use Midjourney to introduce data that it doesn't already have, to introduce multiple data sources and modern data sources for you to summarize, for how to create a product strategy and look at competitors and new and unique information, create that product, create ads around the product. I showed you how to create bulk brainstorming material using Canva and their AI tools. I've even showed you how to do brand collabs. I'm going to stick on. Feel free to drop off if you've got other things to do on this amazing Thursday. Hopefully you have nice weather wherever you are. But, I'll stick around. You can ask me other questions. And yeah, I appreciate everybody who came today. I'm really excited. If you can, try to join the Discord. I'm actually going to go ahead and get that Discord link in here really quick. Let me see if I can just copy and paste it someplace. I have to stop sharing my screen for a second. Nope. I'm going to try to get the Discord link up here on the screen for everyone. But yeah, if you use Discord, and you are using Discord if you use Midjourney. So if you're using Midjourney, join our private group. I can create private channels just for people that have been a part of this class today. And that way we can kind of learn from each other, which I think is a really unique, fun way to work. So I'll just create this banner. Add banner. Here it is. So, you can use this as a really fun channel for us to learn from each other. So like I said, what I'm going to use with this Discord is I'm going to use this as a place for me to, in real time, when I see fun links to share with everyone, drop links daily. I'm going to use it as a place where I'm constantly coming up with new generation techniques for Midjourney and for Chat GPT. I'm going to share how do you add it as a bot? I can show you how to add it as a bot. So I'm just going to share all sorts of really cool information here. So please join the Midjourney to create your own little private space. Please join the Discord. We can create little private classrooms for everybody to play around in, or you can create your own. And I'll show you how to do that right now. All right, so if you're in Discord and you've created your own channel, thank you, Christopher. Appreciate you joining. You can go in here and you would just create like a channel or in your actual group, and you would just add it as an app in the app directory, and it'll actually show up as a bot here called Midjourney bot. So I think if I go and create a channel, and we'll call it test, and I'll make it a private channel right now. And you'll see here that I can actually add the Midjourney bot into the role of the group. And now there's Midjourney bot in here. And now when I do the / commands, I can see all of the Midjourney commands. Does that help? Hopefully that helps. That's how you add it. So you just add it as a bot within the apps space. Yes, I don't have, I've made the, I'll make it public. And everyone should be able to go into join the channel that I use today. And then you can start seeing like some of the images I created. If you're already logged in with your Midjourney account, you can actually go and make changes to the images I created today. And you can riff off the ones I created. So it's a really fun place to do that. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Yeah. I think so I gave permission. Shane, I hope you really liked that I did your Aesop example. Thank you so much for sending that to me on Twitter a long time ago. I know I promised you that I would do this, and I thought this was the best way to do it, was this live stream. But anyways, yeah, I see a lot of you joining this Discord. It's going to be really awesome. Like I said, we're going to share out daily new links about how AI is affecting marketing, about really cool tools that you can be using to help with your job. I hope it becomes just like a really cool community. Feel free to share with your friends. I'll be sharing it as well online to help grow out our audience, but it's just like going to be a really cool place. And you all are on the ground floor. Trent, can I have the PDF? Sorry, I missed that. Yes, I will link to the PDF. It's on my LinkedIn. If you go see it, it's just already saved as one of the posts. If you want to go there, that's probably the easiest way to get the PDF, honestly, is if you just go there, there's a download function right inside of that, Trent. Thanks, Bryce, for joining. Appreciate it. Yeah, can't wait to keep the conversation going in Discord for sure. Like, I'm really excited. And my goal is like, you all are the original members of the group right now. And I'll know that. Like, I see that inside of Discord is when you join. So I'm going to give you all special roles. And so that everybody knows that you were on the ground floor creating this awesome community. But overall, I'm going to be giving these types of talks a lot in the upcoming days and weeks. I actually have been invited by a couple of organizations to give AI talks. Some groups have like 300 or 500 members in the group, and I'm going to be inviting them to the Discord. So hopefully this community grows exponentially over the next couple of weeks as I do more talks. But thank you so much for joining. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I think this has been a good run, but feel free to reach out to me privately or especially in the Discord if you want to. Look, I'm becoming so good at doing social, guys. Join the Discord and we can continue this conversation there. You can ask me questions. I can give you more tips on how to use Chat GPT and how to use Midjourney and other AI tools. We didn't even go over all the other AI tools that are out there. Do you have a list I can join to get news on your talks? The best place to see where I'm going to be doing more of these talks is LinkedIn or Twitter. Those are the only two places I talk about work stuff. I'm all private on all my other social channels. I'm actually a new dad. For all those who know me, I'm a new dad, if you didn't know that. But my professional channels are Twitter and Insta or Twitter and LinkedIn. As a matter of fact, I can't put two of these at the same time, can I? Let's see. If you don't follow me, really easy to find now. Oh, you can't have two things at the same time. That's lame. Jeff McAddress is where you can find me online. Jeff McAddress. Or you found me on LinkedIn, so you can just follow me there. And I promise you I'll be posting often about all the cool things I'll be doing. So again, I appreciate it. Everyone who came today, it's been really awesome. Thank you all so much. Hopefully you had an opportunity to grab this Discord link. I'm also going to post it as a comment to this event. So if you RSVP'd to this event, you should get a notification that I commented it. And so you'll be able to Discord from that. You'll be able to join the Discord from that link. Also, for the people who weren't able to make it, this is going to be recorded. This recording is going to go up on my LinkedIn so you can watch this at any time. And I'm going to create shorter versions of this content from this long video today. Hold me to that because I actually will have to do the editing myself. So I appreciate everyone that came today. I really can't thank you enough for being on the literal ground floor of me kind of like diving deep into this space of teaching more and more people how to use AI tools to make their jobs easier. I will leave you with a parting note that I will bestow to you all so you can tell people when they say, oh, isn't AI going to take our jobs? Or I don't want to use AI. Calculators did not replace mathematicians, but it did make it so that they could do harder math. And I think that AI is going to be the same thing. It's not replacing anyone. It just makes it so we can go after bigger challenges and solve bigger problems. So hopefully that's how you find AI useful. And thank you all again so much for coming to my broadcast. See y'all later. Have a good day.